Yesterday was an effort by Israel to torpedo the ceasefire. I don't think there's any lack of clarity in terms of Israel's, let's say, rejection of the ceasefire, which in a way has been imposed on them. I think Trump lied when he said Lebanon was not included.
Shortly after President Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire with Iran on Wednesday, the question of whether Lebanon was included in the deal quickly became a point of contention. While Pakistan, who mediated the agreement, and Iran said that the pause in fighting would extend to Lebanon, Israel insisted it didn't and proceeded to pummel the capital Beirut and the south of the country, boasting that it conducted more than 100 strikes in the span of 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, with no warning and during the busiest time of the day, Israeli bombs killed at least 250 people, injured more than 1,000 others, and leveled dozens of residential buildings to the ground. Iran responded by warning that the ceasefire could collapse if Israeli attacks on Lebanon didn't stop.
Israel put essentially Iran in one of two situations. Either Iran continued to respect the ceasefire and in that way effectively abandoned its allies in Lebanon, which would have damaged Iran's reputation with its Lebanese allies, or Iran had to backtrack on the ceasefire and essentially put at risk the ceasefire, which would have suited Israel just fine because Israel would like Iran to back out of the ceasefire. These lies created a situation that gave Israel a lot of latitude, in terms of derailing the ceasefire. Exactly what Iran will do is a big question mark.
As the civilian toll of this war rises, internal divisions are deepening between Hezbollah supporters, most of whom are from the Muslim Shia community, and other Lebanese who blame the group for this renewed fighting with Israel. Meanwhile, the Lebanese state finds itself sinking deeper into an impossible quagmire.
The Lebanese state, of course, is the weakest actor in this arrangement. The Lebanese state would like to reassert sovereign authority over the country. But the problem, of course, is what happens after. If Hezbollah comes out of this strengthened, it's going to try to force on the Lebanese government a reversal of its position, declaring Hezbollah's military activities as illegal. Definitely the Israelis would like to provoke or to increase tensions as a means of pressure on the Lebanese government. But we have to understand the Lebanese government doesn't have the military force to disarm Hezbollah, because very quickly this would morph into a confrontation with the entire Shia community. Ultimately, the Hezbollah problem will have to be resolved with Iran. It's not going to be resolved by force through the Lebanese army.
When asked whether he was okay with Israel continuing to bomb Lebanon despite the ceasefire deal with Iran, President Trump said that it was part of the deal. It's a separate skirmish, he said. Vice President J.D. Vance, who is leading the American delegation in talks in Islamabad, very clearly echoed President Trump's position on this last night.
I think this comes from a legitimate misunderstanding. I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. If Iran wants to let this negotiation fall apart in a conflict where they were getting hammered over Lebanon, which has nothing to do with them and which the United States never once said was part of the ceasefire, that's ultimately their choice. We think that would be dumb, but that's their choice.
While this may only be a skirmish for President Trump, it's an existential question for Lebanon.
Every time the United States talks to Iran, it completely leaves or abandons the idea of the regional allies file. They never address this. This is also a major problem for Lebanon because this issue really does need to be resolved, and Lebanon is in the forefront of this problem. If they're not willing to talk to Iran, the Americans or anyone else to talk to Iran about Hezbollah, or if Iran is unwilling to talk about Hezbollah, then we're at a deadlock. And as long as this deadlock exists, Lebanon will be in the middle of this very destructive and deadly regional confrontation between Israel and Iran. It has to be addressed at some point because Lebanon's future depends on it.